I'm glad we have passionate fans. You know, the 12s are very passionate, and you know, that's what we want. I mean, we want those people that are passionate about our team and supporting us. It comes with the territory. You know, I played quarterback, and you know, that guy's going to get you know, more credit than he deserves, and you know, more. I guess people are going to be on him when you don't win. So it's the same. It's same with what I'm doing. You know, so. You know, I'm totally confident in what I'm doing. I'm totally confident that I'm trying to get our team in the best position to win. And, you know, I'm glad that she's passionate about us.
I haven't seen the actual comments, but, you know, mom looking after her kid, there ain't nothing wrong with
that. All right, Stephen A., what do you think?
Well, first of all, I want to applaud them for their intelligence. They were very, very smart in what they elocuted to the masses, because had they said a single word against Marshawn Lynch's mama, there may have been a problem. So they were definitely wise to take the position and the stance that they took, which is to say, we understand it. It comes with the territory. We hear where she's coming from. Fans come from that position all the time.
I forgot to mention this. She took the post down, just so you know.
Oh, sure. I'm sure she did, because I'm sure her son went home and said, look, Mom, appreciate you, appreciate the love and what have you, but that kind of put me in a bad spot.
Thank you.
But let me finish.
Yes.
But what that validates also is that Marshawn Lynch never told her to put the post up in the first place. What I'm saying to you, and I will reiterate what I said to you yesterday, because I think you need help and prayer on this particular issue.
Maybe help, but not prayer.
Okay, but prayer on this particular issue. You don't tell a mama anything, particularly a black mama. Now, you might sit there and ask, suggest, beg, but you don't tell her anything. She tells you. She's the boss. And so when you consider that, this notion that the Seattle Seahawks were supposed to penalize Marshawn Lynch because of what his mama said, you talk about straight mutiny coming their way. You think it's bad with Cam Chancellor, okay? I mean, by the way, you had the #1 ranked defense. You had #1 against the pass. You were #1 in points allowed. And here you are still not reaching an agreement with Cam Chancellor, who won't be playing this week from what we're being told, all right? That's bad enough. But then to sit up there and cause even more trouble by punishing Marshawn Lynch, that would have been so asinine, so ridiculous, so stupid on their part, that they would have never recovered from that in terms of getting their house in order. So they were incredibly smart not to do anything to Marshawn Lynch. They were incredibly wise, and Pete Carroll really stepped back and looked like Pete Carroll. You know, mama's supporting her son, ain't nothing wrong with that. Very, very wise words on his part. And by the way, Marshawn Lynch happens to be your leading rusher, the star of the team offensively, and you also had the #1 ranked rushing attack last year in the NFL. You were 27th against the pass. It is wise to make sure you don't mess with Marshawn Lynch for a bevy of reasons.
Okay. I made this point yesterday. I also have to speak only for white moms. I learned the hard way. You don't tell them what to do or not to do also, just for the record.
That's your place to say that.
Okay, that's my side of the story.
Right. There you go.
Now, back to what we talked about yesterday. Not one time did I say or even intimate that Marshawn told his mom to post that on Facebook. I did not say that.
Okay.
My point was she went off on her own. And I'm assuming, as I'm pretty sure Pete Carroll and Darrell Bevell and John Schneider are assuming, that she shared her son's private conversations with her publicly on Facebook, to the point that Marshawn was reprimanded by the powers that be with the Seahawks, and they said, you cannot allow this to happen. It cannot happen again. And he called Mama up and said, take it down. You cannot share my thoughts publicly with your Facebook read, because now they're talking about it on First Take.
But all that would require, Skip, is that he no longer tells her his private thoughts about the football team. That's all.
Well, you can't regulate how close he is to his mama.
No, I'm saying, right? But I'm just saying, if you don't want, if you are fearful of how your mama might come at the Seahawks on Facebook or whatever, there are details that you may keep from her. Now, that's something a son or a child does do with every parent. No parent knows everything about their child because children keep stuff from their parents all the time.
Okay.
Kid Bayless does too.
Yes, that's correct.
That's right.
So back to Pete Carroll and Daryl Bevell. Clearly, they're not going to blast Mama in their public interview. They're just not going to do it.
Right.
But privately, I continue to stand my ground. I believe they were steamed over this because it's the last thing this team needed at this moment. Because clearly, this was telling to me. Daryl Bevell felt that it created, her Facebook post created so much controversy that he felt compelled to respond to it publicly. Remember, he's not the head coach. He's the offensive coordinator that she wants fired. People might jump to the conclusion that her son also wants him fired, starting with the final play of last year's Super Bowl, as you have gone on and on and on about on this show. So my point is, why did Daryl Bevell even speak yesterday? Coordinators don't
answer that.
Huh?
I can answer that. He spoke because she obviously called for his firing.
Yes.
And what you don't want to do as an offensive coordinator is allow any fodder to swell to the point where there's this belief in future games to come that you have something against Marshawn Lynch. What you want to do is give every impression. This comes with the territory. Let me let this roll right off my shoulders. Let me coach this team on the offensive side of the ball, which is what my responsibilities are. I totally understand it. It's no big deal. If she says nothing, if he says nothing rather, in response, because Pete Carroll and Snyder and those boys prohibit him from commenting on the matter, and then all of a sudden we see a game this Sunday against the Packers where Marshawn Lynch is not getting the ball, where Marshawn Lynch is not being utilized effectively. All of a sudden you're going to look at him and you're going to start asking an abundance of more questions.
That is correct.
Because he never responded.
That's right.
So it's important that he respond for that reason alone.
Do you now grasp the power and the impact of Mama's Facebook post on this football team?
I never denied that there was some potency. What I said to you was the only thing that we disputed was your notion, your ridiculous notion that the Seattle Seahawks...
My dead right notion?
No. I said ridiculous. You have a problem comprehending English?
I do. Oh,
okay.
Ridiculous. I thought you said
ludicrous,
dead right.
Egregious,
Nonsensical.
How about that? What I said was about all of those things, pertaining to all of those things, was your assertion that the Seattle Seahawks should fine and punish Marshawn Lynch because of what his mama said. I said, that's where you crossing the line.
I crossed the line because I'm going to say it again.
That's ridiculous.
A team has to hold accountable anyone close to a player who posts what appear to be maybe the player's private thoughts publicly and cause problems for the business that is the football team. I'm sorry, you cannot allow it.
Watch. I dare any team in professional sports to punish a player because of something a player's mama said. Good luck with that.
Well, if I ran a team, I'd punish him.
Please. And you'd be out of a job. They'd run you out of town. They'd run you out of town.
Hey,
you wouldn't be able to walk the streets.
You know what?
Crossing the line.
I think I would walk the streets.
I don't think you would be.
But the point is that I believe Marshawn got reprimanded or her post wouldn't have disappeared.
No. I believe any decent professional, if you are a grown man, does not want your mama fighting your battles. So you sit there and say to her, wait a minute, what's the matter? Real perfect example, something totally innocuous. Years ago, Stephon Marbury gets hurt. His mother was a wonderful woman. He's hurt on the floor. It was when Jason Williams had that nasty leg injury. And mama comes out there, she's crying, she's worried about her son. And he's like, Mom, I'm okay. But it was perceived as being a relatively embarrassing moment for the player because any grown man, no matter how much you love your mom, you don't want your mom coming across as fighting any kind of battles for you. Now, in that case, he was just injured. That's all that happened. But at the same time, people look at it and they don't want somebody, you don't want to be a grown man and a professional athlete and somebody's hearing or seeing your mom too much. That's not
Okay,
something.
but
It's not
this,
good.
this isn't about an injury. This is calling for the job of the man who coaches
And
your
I'm
son.
saying, I'm just saying, under any circumstances, you're a professional athlete and a grown man. You don't want the impression of your mother fighting any battle for you because it's frowned upon. It's an unwritten thing that is frowned upon in the world of professional sports with grown men. Everybody knows that. So his mother speaking out, Marshawn Lynch, he would never endorse that, and that's why he probably went to her. But it wasn't because of the Seattle Seahawks. It's because he's saying, look, that's not what I need you to do, Mom. That's what that's about. Everybody
disagree.
understands that.
You're missing the bigger picture.
I
here.
think you
Agree
are.
to disagree?
Of course we do.
Because we have to
You
go to
always
break.
do.
All right, speaking of players speaking out, Tom Brady, a fan of the Donald? Yep, you heard me right. Players speaking out on social issues, how do we feel about it?
Hold it.
Yay or nay?
Wait, look at Tom Brady's hairline. I got to talk to him instead of LeBron. How do I get my hairline forward? What's up with
Why
that?
are you calling people out on
What did
TV?
Did you say you see his hairline in that
Be
picture?
nice.
I mean, look, he did something to his hair.
Maybe he got it
fixed. I need to get it fixed.
For perspective, in my
I need to get it
culture,
fixed.
it's the father who runs the show.